Hello, welcome or welcome back. Today I want to talk about a particular phrase that I came across a few months ago that really struck a chord with me. And the phrase is, your new life will cost you your old one. And I think I've heard this phrase before, but a couple of months ago it really struck a chord with me, sort of realizing that in order to actually become who I want to be, I have to let go of who I've always been. And that's not as easy as it sounds, because there's a lot of layers to each of us, to who we are, and it's taken years to create who we are. All the layers, all the likes and dislikes, interests, etc. But the thing is, when you start feeling stuck, it's hard to sort of pinpoint how to get out of it. And that's sort of where that phrase came in for me, because I think I realized finally that I've been holding on to parts of my old identity. And I think I always have in a way, which is why I've never been able to make a full-on change. Because there's a certain comfort in who you've always been. I mean, it's gotten you this far in life. And I mean, sometimes that may be good or sometimes that may be bad, but it's still such an intrinsic part of you. And the idea of letting go of it feels a little bit like letting go of yourself. But the thing is, in order to sort of strip away all the layers and all the things that once were, you sort of have to get back to the foundation. Almost like making yourself a blank slate, if you will, where you can actually start building who you are today and then who you want to become tomorrow. Change and growth isn't just about what you gain. It's also about what to let go of. And I think for me, I'm finally actually ready to take the next step. I think before, for me at least, there was too much comfort in who I was. And so I would make changes. And then, a few days or maybe a few weeks later, I'd sort of fall back into old habits, not even really on purpose. And I could never really figure out why that was. Why does it seem like I can't make a change? Why can't anything stick? Why am I the person that fails at, XYZ? Because I don't identify as a failure, and I don't think you do either. And just because we have failed at something doesn't make us failures. It just means we failed at something and then we learned a lesson from it. But in this case, I think I've come to realize that it's because I wasn't ready to let go of every part of me, that I still wanted the comfort of certain parts of who I used to be. And I know I mentioned transformation is sort of getting back to the foundation, but also realize that transformation doesn't necessarily just mean throw everything out and start from scratch. There might be parts of you right now that are who you are right now. And there may only be certain parts that you really need to let go of in order to shed your old identity and fully embrace who you are right now, so that you can then become who you actually want to be. And it does require some self-reflection and taking a good hard look at where you really are today and where you are stagnant, and then actually making baby steps into the direction of where you want to go. And don't get me wrong, releasing something that's been a part of you for so long, maybe something that you didn't even realize was holding you back, takes time and it takes grief. It's okay to grieve a part of who you were and let it go so that you can let something new in. And this may relate to part of your routine, or maybe it's your career, or maybe it's certain hobbies that don't resonate with you anymore. Maybe it's relationships, whether friendship, romantic, or otherwise. And maybe you're doing great in your career, you love what you do, but your relationships are what's holding you back. Or maybe your routines are on point, but you hate what you do for a living and you wish you were doing something else. It's okay to have that dichotomy. Not everything about you is something that needs to go. Now, I will add to that in some cases that may be necessary. For some people, it may be necessary to really strip down to the studs, so to say, and rebuild the foundation. But I think for the majority of people, it's going to be layers. It's going to be aspects of our lives, not our entire lives. Some of the questions you should be asking yourself is, what is holding you back? How can you move forward? Who do you want to be? Even if you're not sure of who you are today and everything feels a bit nebulous, maybe make a list and see sort of where your interests lie. And like I mentioned, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Transformation is hard. It takes time. You will be sad. You will be upset. You will think that you made a mistake. You will be angry. You will want it to go back to old habits. All of these are natural feelings. And there's nothing wrong with feeling them. What you cannot do is step back into who you were, though. Growth isn't easy. If it was, we would all be perfect versions of ourselves all the time. A lot of people honestly are scared to grow because they're scared of letting go of who they are or who they think they are. And they're scared of what's on the other side. What if they don't like who they become? Guess what? If you don't like something, you can change it. Nothing is stuck. Everything is fluid. If you don't like an aspect of your life or it doesn't make you happy anymore, you can change it. Might it take some time, some grief, some difficulties? Yes. It's not a switch that you flip and everything is fine, but it is worth it when you come out on the other side and you realize all of these steps that you have taken and what you have achieved in doing so when you actually follow your passion or your dreams or your goals or whatever it may be. Sometimes healing means leaving the familiar but unhealthy comfort zone that we have found ourselves in. And it's not easy to leave behind patterns or people, friendships of 20, 30 years. But sometimes patterns and people are no longer aligned with who you are. You've grown apart. And you can grow apart from your routine just as much as you can grow apart from people in your life. Do not keep yourself small so that others are comfortable. Do not fear the discomforts or the tears that growth will bring, because letting go means making space for new things, and that's exciting. It will open the possibility of new relationships and new opportunities. But beyond that, it will also give you clarity and confidence, and hopefully a healthier physical and mental state as well. You're allowed to want more than what is now. You're allowed to outgrow your past, mistakes and all. Who you were doesn't have to be who you are or who you're becoming. You are allowed to change. And realize not everyone will understand what you are doing. And some people might judge you for it because they're used to the old version of yourself. And that's okay. Allow people to show you who they really are. Not everyone will understand what you're doing, but those that are worth of keeping around will respect your choice to do it and support you because it's making you a better version of yourself. And others will show themselves to be really not worthy of being in your life because they want to keep you in the same place. Because maybe that negative place is where your relationship really is. Maybe it's in gossip or discomfort or being overweight or judging someone. Whatever it may be, it's in a negative place, and when you start to outgrow that and the other person isn't ready, you may have to say goodbye to that relationship, at least for that time period. And maybe forever. And that can be hard, especially if it's maybe a childhood friend. Not everyone grows at the same pace, and not everyone will grow because they don't want to. But you're taking the steps to grow and to become the best version of yourself. Believe in that, believe in yourself. Don't let other people tear you down. Sometimes real freedom is when you stop trying to be who you used to be. Now, who do you have to stop being in order to become who you really are? Leave it in the comments below. Let's have a discussion. But that's it for now. I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.